How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flaming. We're back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the buy, hold, and sell for Game Week 8, where we take a look at some players that you should potentially buy for this upcoming game week, a player that you should hang on to if they haven't done so well, or maybe they're coming back from injury and they might still do well in this upcoming game week, and players that you should get rid of immediately from your FPL teams. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, from price changes to injury news and anything in between. And lastly, make sure to give us a follow over on Twitch so you can join us live for our preview and deadline streams. We'll be doing a deadline stream 1 hour before the FPL deadline as per normal for Game Week 8. There'll be a pinned comment down below to let you know the details on that. So without further ado, let's talk about our partners for the season with Fantasy Football Scout. So if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, they have a fantastic members area during the regular season. It's £25 for the membership, and that lasts the entire year. And during the off season, they give a 20% discount. But if you have missed that discount, fear not, you can still get the membership for £25, and it's fantastic. You can see the membership area just behind me. You have a bunch of different stats that you can use, powered by Opta stats, and create your own custom tables. You have the Rate My Team tool, you have the season ticker, player comparison tools, a whole array of things that you can use to help elevate your FPL game. So use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to these exclusive tools to help elevate your FPL game. Sign up now. Now, the previous game week, we did not pick the greatest picks, to be honest. We brought in Antonio Rudiger into our own team. Now, we did have higher XGI than Ronaldo, believe it or not, 0.17, so not the greatest, but still okay from a defender. Just the 2 points with Chelsea conceding, 1 chance created, 1 shot inside the box. So from Rudiger, that's probably about what you're going to expect, but he's more of a longer term pick for the next few fixtures with Chelsea's sea of green, assuming that he can overcome this little back issue that apparently he had on international duty. So one to keep an eye on there as well. Would pay attention to press conferences before getting rid of him. And make the decision probably on Friday after those press conferences are done. Cristiano Ronaldo, we had him as a hold. For some reason, was on the bench with Paul Pogba and Sancho, and United ended up having a disappointing result at home again with a 1-1 draw. Came on just the 1 point. Only 1 chance created, less XGI, as I said, than Antonio Rudiger, who's a center back. Not great, and he looked very, very frustrated when coming off the pitch, and he has redeemed himself, basically, or made himself feel a little bit better on international duty, scoring a hat-trick versus Luxembourg, from what I gather. I know he scored at least 2. And then he also got goals in, or a goal at least, versus Qatar, I think it was. Not the greatest opposition, but again, he's still scoring and still showing that he can do it on the European level, as it were. And then lastly, Luke Shaw, I mean, just hasn't been what we had, kind of set him out to be or previewed him as going into this season. Another 2-pointer, another clean sheet lost for United. Just the 2 chances created, 0.09 XGI. Not great. That was the right thing to do to sell him. And I think we won't be getting him back in anytime soon unless either United's defensive, kind of woes are basically fixed, as it were, and I don't think that's going to happen in the next few game weeks, because Varane and Maguire are both out at the moment, unless Eric Bailly and Lindelof become the new age Vidic and Ferdinand. I don't see that happening, so definitely right to sell him there as well. But let's take a look at the buy for Game Week 8. Now, the player that I think is a must-buy for this game week is João Cancelo. 18.3%, already on the rise with 6.2 million as his price tag. I mean, he does it all, João Cancelo. He's getting clean sheets, he's getting assists, he's looking lively, he's getting into the midfield, getting shots in the box, creating things, all that sort of stuff. He just looks very, very good. And with City keeping 5 out of the 7 available clean sheets in the first 7 game weeks, he is going to be among that. And with Benjamin Mendy having all field issues, Zinchenko being out of favor, and Walker being the pretty much favored starting right back, Cancelo's the only one they can really pick there as well, and I think for good reason. I think personally he's the best right back and left back that Man City have at the club, and I think his stats definitely show it. 1.86 XGI on the season as well from a fullback is very, very good. The clean sheets are the main thing though. City, best defense in this league last season across the whole season. I think Ederson ended up getting the Golden Glove. And Cancelo is going to be a part of that. Like I said, 5 clean sheets in the first 7. And the only 2 clean sheets that they didn't get were versus Spurs and Liverpool. And you would kind of expect that mostly. You're going to see a lot more clean sheets versus the weaker opposition. And the next 3 games are against teams that they typically can do well against. So Burnley at home, that could be 5-0. Cancelo could get a goal and an assist and a clean sheet, and then you're looking at 3 bonus points. And even for just an assist, I mean, he's got a couple of 12-pointers this season already. Brighton away, they don't typically score very many goals, so City might keep a clean sheet there too. Crystal Palace at home should be doing pretty easily versus Crystal Palace. Then Man United away, that could easily be a 0-0, could be quite defensive. So you might see 4 clean sheets and 4 over the next 4 for João Cancelo. But it also could be the attacking returns as well. Like I said, Burnley likes to concede goals. Brighton likes to play good football, which City can exploit. Same with Crystal Palace. They're liking to play a bit more expansive, which City can exploit. And they could find it a bit trickier versus United. But you might just bench Cancelo for that game because it's one of the very few bad games from now until around like game week 26 where Cancelo has a bad fixture. The rest are a sea of green. So I think Cancelo, get him in now before his price starts to potentially skyrocket and look towards the likes of, Van Dijk or Robertson prices, and you'll be laughing when you're getting the clean sheets in. But I think he's the player that if you didn't have him, he would be the #1 player on my list to bring in for this game week and beyond. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the player that he's probably the best player in the game for his price point, but was injured over the last game week or so and could be coming back for this game week where he has a fantastic fixture. And that player to hang on to is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Dealt with a little bit of illness a couple of weeks ago, then was injured, hasn't gone on England duty, but has been pictured back in training and seems to be doing quite well. Well, I'm not sure if he was pictured back in training, but I think there was the okay given for him, at least that he's going to be potentially available for selection, which would mean that he's probably in training doing whether it be light work or at least getting up to full match fitness in that regard. On the season, I mean, look at the stats there. 21 chances created. Absolutely ridiculous. On the last 4 game weeks, kind of fallen off a little bit, so that potential warning sign. The fixtures aren't the greatest overall. Seems to be on-off for Liverpool. Watford away, Man United away, Brighton at home, West Ham away. But the United-Liverpool fixtures tend to be a bit of a kind of a bore fest, bit of a 0-0 to be honest. Brighton could be that similar way, but again, clean sheets are perfectly fine for Trent Alexander-Arnold. The Watford game could easily be a clean sheet as well, although I predicted a 3-1 in favor of Liverpool. But again, still could be some attacking returns. I think if you're on a wild card, I think you keep him. I think if you have him in your team, I think you keep him as well. He doesn't look like he's going to drop in price. His ownership has tanked quite a bit, but that could benefit the owners that have hung on to him. And then West Ham away, who haven't looked as sharp as what they did to open up in the first 4 game weeks of the season. But he is definitely involved on set pieces, whether it be corners or direct free kicks or even indirect free kicks, and just helps the way Liverpool like to play. Deep crosses from his side, cutbacks on Robertson's side. Really likes to get forward, bulks out the midfield. There was a brilliant goal that he linked up with, I believe it was... it was either Sadio Mane or Diogo Jota, where basically he came in field, like basically slammed the pass through past, I think it was Tarkowski when they were playing Burnley, and then it was a nice finish to cap it all off. But it shows his versatility, kind of basically playing the Cancelo style of role, how Pep has him involved for Man City. So Trent definitely wouldn't be going anywhere from my team. I'm looking to keep him on the wild card as well, because I think he could definitely still hold some points in his back pocket for us FPL managers that keep hold of him for the next few game weeks and for the rest of the season. But a player that we don't want to probably keep in our teams anymore, started off the season very good, but his team and his numbers have kind of dropped off just a little bit. And that player is BENRAHMA. I had him since the beginning of the FPL season. He started off great. Started off with back-to-back goal and assist games with 2 double-digit holes. His ownership and price skyrocketed up 0.6 million. And he hasn't done too much over the last 4 game weeks. Got a very fortunate goal versus Manchester United. That's the only goal he's gotten or any returns since those first 3 game weeks. 7 chances created, 1 big chance created, 2 shots inside the box, 1.26 XGI. Not the greatest over the last 4 game weeks, but at the end of the day, he is a budget midfielder. I think our expectations of him went a lot higher than what we initially thought, because of the stats that he started off with at the start of the season as well. But it's another thing when a player's form starts to slowly, kind of taper off. They still have Europa League to kind of contend to. His partnership with Antonio has done quite well, but it seems like Antonio is getting more of the points now, and BENRAHMA is starting to wane a little bit. And if you look at the fixtures as well, I don't think the double up is necessarily on the cards. Everton away, Spurs at home, Aston Villa away, Liverpool at home. No FDR rating of 2s in those next 4 before the next international break. Could be a bit of a tricky road for BENRAHMA. He could still do well, and I think for 6.6 million, you have to kind of temper your expectations just a little bit from what he started off with 3 goals, 2 assists on the whole season. Don't think he's definitely, worth 36.9% ownership. Probably think more of the 20% mark is probably around that point. For me personally, I'm selling him on the wild card. I'm looking for the likes of Saka or Smith Rowe or Rafinha or these other budget midfielders to help enable bigger prices elsewhere, and use that kind of price point, that 6.5, that 6 million price point, and putting it in defenders like Cancelo, like Trent, like Antonio Rudiger, like Azpilicueta, these like bigger defenders that have a great run of fixtures coming up and could get clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, where BENRAHMA could be starved of attacking returns. So definitely a sell for me this week. But let me know in the comments down below who you're looking to buy, hold, and sell this game week. I'll be very interested to see that as well. I'm on a wild card, so I'm going to be buying, holding, and selling a whole bunch of players this game week in Game Week 8. So let me know what you think. And that's going to do it for buy, hold, sell in Game Week 8. And that is going to do it for this episode of Buy, Hold, and Sell. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel. And turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with any and all FPL news, from price changes to transfer news and anything in between. As well as give us a follow over on Twitch if you want to join us live for our preview and deadline streams. We will be doing a deadline stream as per normal 1 hour before the FPL deadline. There's a pinned comment down below on the video to give you the details on that. And lastly, make sure to take advantage of the link down in the description below for Fantasy Football Scouts membership area. You can have access to a whole wide array of tools, including the Opta stats driven tables, which are fully customizable. I have mine public to the Fantasy Football Scout members as well, so you can check my tables out, which I use for all my videos as well, and some of which were used on this video as well. So make sure to check that out. It's going to help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.